Hello there. In this little video, I'm going to show you how to add calendar events on your class portal pages. Obviously, after logging into your portal, you want to scroll down to one of your classes that you're going to add something to the calendar. Or I'm going to click over here. First thing we need to do, a couple places we can do this. So the easiest is probably just to go to the calendar tab. Right, we'll do the quick add first, where the day, whatever the day is going to be highlighted, but I could go down and say on the 27th, we know we're going to be starting classes, and I want to put that we're going to do the introduction. So I just click on that date, title, I'm going to call it the introduction to course. Event type, this is important here if you want to help kids to be able to see things and sort things more easily. I would encourage you to list on the calendar things you're going to be covering that day and list them as topic of the day and have that be separate from assignments. You'll see why in a little bit. So topic of the day, it's going to be added to just the one calendar. If I have two classes of the same thing, I can certainly add it to multiple calendars. And you'll see that the advantage of that is you don't have to double enter things. The trade-off is if you move one of them, it moves both of them if you put it on two calendars. So I'm going to leave it on one calendar right now. And if I just click Save That Event, it's going to show up right here on the calendar. If I go back to the home page and I have the calendar element on my page, notice to say, oh, it's not showing it because this only shows 1 week. All right, so if I go to the full calendar, again, for this class, and there's that event that I had added, kids can roll over it, see more details if need be. Say I had an assignment that was going to be due on the next Monday, so I'll do a quick add for an assignment here. Add this event. This is read chapter 1 in text. I'm going to list it as an assignment type, right? So that it'll show up a little differently on there. I'm just going to add it to the one calendar this time, and again, I'm going to save the event. So now that shows up as an assignment. Notice it says due. Anything that's an assignment, it's due. So put the day that the assignment is due, not the day you assign it, the day that it is due. If I want to get a little bit more sophisticated, say I want to add something a little bit more complicated on the next day, I can either click here and then expand, or I can do add event. It'll get me to the same place. I'm going to show you here. If I go to more options, it opens up a much larger window. This is going to be an assignment that is going to be paragraph on reading number 1 is going to be due. The due date, right, when it's assigned, sort of doesn't make a huge difference. It's an assignment, right, as opposed to a quiz or a test. It's not what we're doing. I can put some description in here. Please reflect on the reading in 250 words. If I have an attachment, if there's a more detailed description, you can attach that resource as well. The nice thing is, too, if we're going to have things that are going to be submitted, you can create a Dropbox for this assignment where students will be able to actually submit their work. So I'm going to do that this time. I'm going to allow late submissions, and I don't need to receive an email alert. So again, I can save this event, and that will put it on the calendar here. And to see where that Dropbox is for a second, so I can click right over to the Dropboxes, and you'll see it's updating. So these, because this was from a previous class I had, that was already a Dropbox there. So now when students are going to submit work, there's a place where they will be able to submit it directly. And it will be pretty straightforward to them, because when they log in, they'll be able to add a file, submit it, type a comment, and you can have it a conversation back and forth with your students. One other thing with the calendar events, I like to let people know, if you have two sections of the same thing, but they're going to be doing something on a different day. I say I have two sections that are going to be meeting on the first, one of them on the first and one of them on the second. So I'm going to just add an event. I'm going to go to the more options, and this was reading number 2, and it's please read, spell properly, chapter 2. Right. I'm going to not create a Dropbox for this, obviously. It is assignment type. The calendars right now, it's on just the one calendar, right? If I click on this, I can add it to more than one calendar. So if I know they're going to be on the same day, I can, instead of having to double enter this, I can have it go onto two different classes very easily there by doing checking multiple calendars. So you don't have to double enter things. All right, and when I click off of this, now it's going to be going onto both of those calendars. If I save this event, right, now you say, well, where is it on the other one? Because I'm only in this one class, I can only see the one for that one class. So to see that both of them here, if I click on Manage Calendars, this is going to show all of my calendars, and I have selected these two classes. And notice that there are two different reading assignments. Number 2, do one for one of the classes, the B5, and one for the B4. As I mentioned, because this is a single event, if I move this to a different day, you notice it's going to move both of them. So the disadvantage of doing it that way is if you need to postpone one or push it to a different day, you can't move one of them and not the other. There is a way around that, however. I'm going to go back to one of those classes. All right, I'll go to the other one this time, I believe. We go into the calendar. Now I'm going to add an event that I want to have be on different days for the two classes. So I'm going to just enter an event here. I'm going to more options, and this is going to be new circle. Item. Again, this is an assignment. Please bring a news item to share. Right. And now, instead of putting it on, because I know the same thing is going to happen, but on two different days for two different classes. I'll show you how. So I'm in the B5 right now. If I want to put the same one on the B4, right, what I can do is, instead of adding them here as a calendar, I'm going to do save and clone, which now it's been saved on the other one, and now I can add it to the other calendar. Notice it's created this new title that says clone. I'm going to eliminate the clone, but now I'm going to put it not on the B5. I'm going to put this one on the B4 and remove it from the B5, right? And now when I save this event, right, so again, I'm going to go back to the manage calendars, right? And they're the two new circle items, but the nice thing is I can take this one now and move one of them and not the other one. So by cloning it, it creates essentially a separate calendar entry with all the same information, but now they can be moved independent. And here's the one that we had put together on two different calendars, right? I move one, they're both going to move. With this, where I had created it and cloned it, I can now move one of these independent of the other one. Right, that should be all you need to know for basic adding stuff to calendars. Certainly, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know, or send me an email, or drop a comment in the below the video.